There comes a moment in life when everything stops making sense. The plans you carefully built collapse without warning. The people you thought would stay leave. The opportunities you prayed for disappear. And the version of yourself you once recognized begins to feel distant. You wake up one day and realize you are walking through a season you never prepared for. And the hardest part is not the pain, it is the uncertainty. Because pain at least gives you something to feel. Uncertainty gives you nothing to hold on to. You start asking questions no one can answer. Why is this happening? Why now? Why me? Am I falling behind? Did I ruin my own life? And somewhere between disappointment and confusion, you begin doubting your own journey. You compare your timeline to everyone else's. You watch people your age getting married, building careers, finding clarity, becoming visible. Meanwhile, you are still trying to figure out who you are becoming, still healing, still rebuilding, still waiting, still surviving. And sometimes that makes you feel ashamed. Ashamed that your life does not look the way you imagined. Ashamed that you are not where you thought you would be by now. But what if this season is not proof that your life is falling apart? What if it is proof that your life is changing? Because the truth is, not every meaningful journey makes sense while you are inside it. Some journeys can only be understood in reverse. There are moments that feel like endings, but later become the reason you finally discovered yourself. Delays that protected you, closed doors that redirected you, heartbreaks that woke you up, lonely seasons that introduced you to your real identity. But when you are living through those moments, you cannot see any of that. All you see is confusion. Human beings crave certainty. We want guarantees. We want timelines. We want proof that our suffering has meaning. But life rarely works that way. Sometimes the path ahead only reveals itself, one step at a time. And learning to trust your journey means learning to walk without seeing the entire road. Trusting the journey sounds beautiful in motivational quotes. But in real life, trusting the journey means continuing after rejection. It means believing in yourself while feeling invisible. It means waking up every day without immediate results. It means holding on to hope when your circumstances suggest otherwise. And honestly, there will be days when exhaustion whispers, "Give up. This is pointless. Nothing is changing." But growth is rarely loud. Most transformation happens quietly. A tree does not become strong overnight. Its roots deepen in darkness, long before anyone sees growth above the surface. And maybe that is where you are right now. Rooting, not failing, not being forgotten, not being punished, just becoming. We often underestimate invisible progress because the world only celebrates visible success. People applaud the promotion, the graduation, the achievement. But they do not see the nights someone cried alone, the years they doubted themselves, the healing they had to do in silence. Your journey is not only about where you arrive, it is about who you become while getting there. And sometimes life slows you down because your character needs to catch up with your desires. That delay you hate may be developing patience. That heartbreak may be teaching discernment. That loneliness may be teaching self-respect. Because if life gave you everything too early, you might destroy yourself trying to carry what you were never prepared to handle. Some lessons cannot be taught through comfort. They must be lived. Growth often feels uncomfortable because transformation requires the death of old versions of ourselves. The old mindset, the old fears, the old identity. You cannot become someone new while remaining committed to who you used to be. That is why transition seasons feel so disorienting. You are no longer who you were, but you have not fully become who you are meant to be. So you exist in between. And in between seasons are emotionally exhausting because nothing feels stable there. You outgrow environments, you outgrow conversations, you outgrow people. And growth can feel lonely when nobody around you understands what you are becoming. But loneliness is not always abandonment. Sometimes it is separation. Life removes distractions so you can finally hear yourself clearly. Think about how often we chase things that were never truly aligned with us. We chase approval. We chase careers that impress people but empty our souls. And then one day, life interrupts everything, At first, we call it failure, but later, we realize it was redirection. Not every loss is meant to destroy you. Some losses are invitations to rebuild differently. Healing is not linear. Some days you feel strong. Other days, the same wound suddenly hurts again. Some mornings you believe in yourself. Other mornings, doubt returns like an old habit. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. Real transformation is not aesthetically pleasing. It is uncomfortable. It is emotional. It is deeply personal. And yet, something remarkable begins happening when you stop resisting your journey. You begin trusting yourself again. Not because you suddenly know every answer, but because you realize you survived every chapter you thought would break you. Look back at your life. There were moments you thought you would never recover from. Moments you cried yourself to sleep. Moments you believed your story was over. But you are still here. That matters. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you are not who you used to be either. And that is progress. Maybe your journey is teaching you something bigger than success. Maybe it is teaching surrender. Not surrender in the sense of giving up, but surrender in the sense of releasing the illusion of control. Because life will always contain uncertainty. No amount of planning can guarantee outcomes. No amount of preparation can eliminate every unexpected turn. At some point, you have to stop demanding certainty before taking the next step. You have to move anyway. You have to trust anyway. Real courage is not always loud. Sometimes courage is simply continuing. Continuing to show up. Continuing to heal. Continuing to believe your existence has meaning. Continuing to dream after failure. That quiet persistence matters more than you think, because eventually, the pieces begin connecting. Not immediately, not perfectly, but gradually. One conversation changes your perspective. One opportunity opens a door. One season of healing restores your confidence. And suddenly you realize the journey was shaping you the entire time. Even the painful parts had purpose. So if you are currently in a season where nothing makes sense, be patient with yourself. You are allowed to feel confused. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to grieve the version of life you expected. But do not mistake uncertainty for failure. Some chapters feel chaotic because they are introducing you to a new version of yourself. Trust is difficult when answers are absent. But maybe trust is not about having all the answers. Maybe trust is about believing that your life still has value, even while things remain unclear. Maybe trust is waking up each day and saying, I do not fully understand where this path is leading me, but I will keep walking anyway. Because your journey is not behind schedule. You are not too late. You are not ruined. Different does not mean wrong. And some of the most meaningful lives are built through detours nobody expected. One day you may look back on this season and realize it was not destroying you at all. It was teaching you how to trust yourself, how to stand alone, how to heal deeply, how to let go, how to become. Keep moving, even slowly, even imperfectly, even fearfully. Keep moving, because there is still a version of your life you have not met yet. A version where peace replaces confusion. A version where clarity finally arrives. A version where you stop apologizing for your journey and start honoring it. And when that day comes, you will realize something important. You were never lost. You were learning how to trust the process of becoming yourself.